A great evening to you, everyone. Warm welcome to Business Live. Coming up, Ghana Revenue Authority sets May 1 this year as deadline for implementing new taxes announced in the 2023 budget, including the controversial Growth and Sustainability Levy. Ahead, we will engage the Association of Ghana Industries. Also in this bulletin, banking system is still strong despite losses incurred as a result of the domestic debt exchange program. We will hear from the CEO of the Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewa.
There's strong liquidity in the environment, and that a sense of heavy liquidity in the environment is what even led the central bank to begin winding back on the relief on liquidity.
Meanwhile, savings and loans companies are calling for confidence in the financial sector to boost profitability of banks. We'll hear from them.
The savings and loans, finance house, microfinance, we also depend on the public as well as the commercial banks. And once they are okay, they are in a position to serve us, we will also continue to serve our customers.
We have details of these and many others coming your way shortly. Please stay. Pleasure, you could stay on. I am Pious Baka to our very first story. The Ghana Revenue Authority has announced that from next Monday, May 1, it will start implementing new and revised tax measures announced in the 2023 budget. Well, this was captured in a latest notice it issued following the President's assent to the new bill passed in Parliament. George Biafe has more.
Ghana Revenue Authority in the notice maintained that it is taking this action after the passage of the revised and new taxes by Parliament, as well as the assent given by President Akufo-Addo. The taxes include the Excise Amendment Act 2023, Income Tax Amendment Act 2023, and the controversial Growth and Sustainability Levy. The authority in the notice indicated that the period since the law was passed, as well as giving the assent by President Akufo-Addo, this should have helped businesses or given them enough time to configure their systems with the taxes to be implemented from next Monday. On the Excise Duty Amendment Act, the authority added the tax has been expanded to cover some items and commodities that were previously not captured. The Ghana Revenue Authority also indicated that on the Income Tax Amendment, they will be charging a minimum of 5% on firms that will be declaring losses for 5 years. Persons in the game of betting will be paying 10% of their earnings to the state, and the deductions will be done when the monies are being paid to them by the respective companies. Firms that are in the lottery and gaming business will be paying 20% on their gross revenue. When it comes to the income end, the tax will be paid on earnings between 5 to 35%. Based on the revised taxes, individuals will receive or gains from the realization of investment assets or liabilities, as well as other than gifts received in respect of business or employment, may have to pay 25% of the value to the state. The controversial Growth and Sustainability Act is also taken off and is set to replace the 5% National Fiscal Stabilization Levy. Part of the tax will be implemented in the way that some firms will pay 5% of their profit before tax as levied. The extractive sector will pay a levy of 1% on their gross production, whilst other entities will pay 2.5%. The Ghana Revenue Authority maintains that it will come out with the necessary guidelines and provide notes on the implementation of these amendments.
So how does the business community, including industries, welcome these tax measures and how will it impact them? Joining us via Zoom for some answers is Chief Executive of the Association of Industries, Seth Chuma-Kwabwa. Seth, grateful you could join me on Business Live and pleasure you could join us as well. Now, the three key taxes are now set to finally take off next Monday. Are you worried?
Well, am I worried? I'm concerned. I'm concerned in the sense that right from the onset, we raised objections to the new taxes that were being introduced because we thought businesses were in serious difficulties. And if we monitor the business environment over the past 1.5 years, industries in particular have suffered significantly. And therefore, additional tax burden is really a concern. So definitely, we've been worried, but it has gone through the process. Today, His Excellency the President has assented to it, so it has become a law. and therefore implementation is inevitable. And that's where we are. We definitely are concerned because the additional tax burden on industries and businesses is really a difficult one. A lot of the industries are making losses. So when you have additional tax burden on them, then you are only worsening their situation and their plight. And that is indeed a big challenge. So we are concerned of the development, but as it is now, it's with the stage where implementation has to start.
So what's the next line of action for industries as the taxes are set to finally take off?
Well, now it's a law, so it is going to take off. Industries have to understand the whole system, calibrate their accounting system to be able to accommodate it, and then see how well they can manage to pay the necessary taxes as it's been imposed by government. But as at the association level, we will continue the engagement. We will first be monitoring the developments. Normally, when there's a new policy of this nature, we know that it may not augur very well for industries. However, we need to monitor to see the full impact. On the basis of that, we can make some decisions. We have doubts about the revenue targets that government had in imposing these taxes, because if the businesses are making losses, then having growth and sustainability levy, which is on profit before tax, can really be at a very tricky situation. So we have doubts about it, but let's monitor to see how far it will go. Then, on the basis of that, we can also engage government. We think that there must be further amendments in this sole tax regime going forward. We cannot work with this for long. But at this moment, we don't seem to have a choice than to go ahead. But as we are going ahead, we'll be monitoring the development, and then we'll be engaging further to see how we can rectify things.
I see you've raised several concerns, and I want you to give me a sense of what these taxes will mean to you and how it's going to impact on your operations.
Well, you see, taxes are additional cost to you as a business operator. And when it's an additional cost, the thing is whether you can absorb it. If you can't absorb it, you must pass it on to the consumer in the form of higher prices. The challenge we have as local industries is that when your cost is going up and you pass it on in the form of higher prices, you have other competing products that are taking your market share. So that is how it's going to affect you, that you hardly be able to compete in the market. The other aspect is that there are some companies that were not part of this excise tax at all, those producing the fruit juices. So suddenly they are going to be part of that tax bracket. And it has implications because you need to go through a process of being able to implement your system to be able to charge it. For example, if you take the fruit juices, you need to have, once it's an accessible product, you must have the tax stamp. The tax stamp requires that you have an applicator that you'll be able to use in affixing the stamps. At this moment, most of them may not have even acquired it because it's new to them. So the process of even complying is another thing that has to be looked at. But having said so, the tax itself is an additional cost. Even the income tax, the people that are going to be affected, those earning slightly higher income, is being paid by the companies. So it's a burden on the company. And so the other areas of tax that have been mentioned. So additional cost means additional burden, and it means increasing your prices to be able to accommodate it. And where you cannot increase your price, then you must absorb it. If you absorb it, if you have enough margins to absorb it, then that's fine. If you don't have it, then it means that you must be making losses. And making losses, we all know the implication. It means you have to downsize at some point in order to stay afloat and stay. So that is how it's going to impact on businesses. But we will be monitoring very closely the compliance level, the effect on the companies, and then we will be making the necessary policy positions and engage government on it.
All right, we'll see how things will go. But away from that, what are your thoughts on the progress made when it comes to Ghana securing an IMF program soon and its impacts on your operations?
Well, we are all eager to see the IMF intervention coming in. It's been said over and over again that at this moment we need it badly in order to bring confidence back into the system. We've always made a point that the 3 billion target as the funds that will come in is not a big money, and it's not going to solve our problems. It only comes in, the IMF only comes in to bring confidence and then also bring some stability. When we have that, then we know that we can then be on the trajectory of growth. At this moment, we can't be sure of growth now, but we are eager to see the IMF. I know that the Minister for Finance had been in the US and negotiating over the past 2 weeks or so. So we expect that there has been so much sacrifice to get the IMF intervention. All these debt exchange, these taxes that have been introduced, these are sacrifices that Ghanaians are being compelled to make in order to get the IMF intervention. And if you have made all these sacrifices, then we can't expect anything less than having the intervention coming in to help stabilize the system. But we've also made a point that even when it comes in, where does it end? We really need to be able to channel the little resources we get out of this into the productive sectors so that we protect the industries and ensure that we produce enough locally to reduce our imports and reduce the exchange losses that we normally experience, so that in the long term, the IMF intervention will be beneficial to Ghana. So we are eager to see it coming in and want to see it implemented in a way that makes the kind of impact we want in the long term.
All right. Thank you very much, Seth Chuma Kwabwa, for your time here on Business Life. He's the Chief Executive of the Association of Ghana Industries, speaking to us there. Now, the Ghana Association of Banks has stated that banks in the country are in good standing with their financial position despite losses incurred by the lenders due to the domestic debt exchange program. Now, a recent assessment of financial statements of banks showed that they made losses of about 6 billion cedis due to the debt exchange program. But speaking on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM today, the Chief Executive of the Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewa, said the capital position of banks are strong while there is enough liquidity in the banking system.
Any record of any person who has gone to a bank or any of our outlets and has not been able to transact freely. So, and that is expected to continue into the future. I personally do not have any fears at all. Of course, I wouldn't say that everything is rosy. You have seen the results for 2022, which is not a result that we are all kind of used to. And results have implications. But the central bank has also put in measures to help banks to weather the storm where there are difficulties. You know that for capital, we reduce the capital they almost remove the capital conservation buffer. There are several other measures that they have put in place. Even for regulatory capital build-up, we have been giving time to build up our capital. So all these are measures that the central bank has also put in place to enable banks to work through the difficult times, particularly, immediately following the exchange.
Meanwhile, the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies, Chinibua Koduabuache, has appealed to the investing public to have confidence in the financial system despite the losses incurred by the lenders due to the domestic debt exchange program. According to him, the only way the financial sector can thrive during these times is a strong confidence from the public. Chinibua Koduabuache spoke on the marketplace.
If you look at it, there's one thing that we need to always bear in mind, that there's a direct difference between profitability and liquidity. And so there is enough liquidity within the banking space, and even those of our institutions that were exposed in the domestic debt exchange program, you'll see that they continuously grant loans and they are serving their customers, those who want to withdraw or make any withdrawals on their accounts. And so from where we sit, we do not expect that those who were exposed in the DDEP will have any challenge, but they will continue to serve their customers. The savings and loans, finance house, microfinance, we also depend on the public as well as the commercial banks. And once they are okay, they are in a position to serve us, we will also continue to serve our customers. And we will make sure that we also continue to play our role, the intermediary role, to make sure that the monies that we also receive from the customers, when they are in need of it, they also get it. And we want to encourage the public to continue to have this confidence because we don't have any other alternative to what we are going through.
You're still watching Business. Hello, welcome back. Blow Group has unveiled Nanama McBrown as the brand ambassador for Bellpack Tissues. This follows agreement between the parties in promoting Bellpack Tissues. Nanama McBrown is happy with the partnership after touring the Bellpack factory at the Tema Free Zones Enclave. There is more in this report.
Bellpack tissues come in three main types, namely Comfort, Eco and Classic in the form of pocket tissues, napkin, toilet roll and others for all purposes. Before penning her signature to the deal, Nanama McBrown researched into the quality of Bellpack tissues, how they are produced, price factor, but to mention a few. She says she will never compromise on quality and is more than happy to be the face of Bellpack tissues.
Because everybody knows Nanama McBrown in Ghana, and they know that I always want quality. So first of all, our visit here is to see how hygienic Bellpack tissues are produced. Most people think that it is only when it comes food, water, drinks, things that we eat or drink is what we have to pay attention to or produce them under hygienic conditions. But tissues are also more like food. You use it on your skin. You use it on your faces. You use it, you touch it when you are cooking. So it's basically part of the ingredients or our welfare.
Head of marketing at Blow Group, Magnus Day, believes unveiling Nanama McBrown as ambassador is consistent with their brand, which stands for care, love, quality, and other attributes.
When we invited Empress, she took her time. She actually put us in a little suspense because she needed to be sure that this product is good. Bell is a great brand. It's a household name in Ghana. But if you are doing tissue as well, she has to be sure that the quality is there. The superior quality as compared to what is on the market, she needs to be sure before she gets on board. So she took some time and she did all her research and gave us feedback before she decided to come on board. So seeing us here together today is a testament that this product can be compared to none other on the market.
After the factory tour, Nanama McBrown and management members of Blow Group donated some products to Pong Polyclinic. She says the quantity could last the facility for close to a year.
What we are doing today is the beginning of good things to come, more things to come. We are ready to donate to most of our clinics and hospitals. We are starting here at Pong, and this is not going to be the end. We are excited again that they have received these products, and it's going to benefit the people or the residents in Pong. We are just grateful and want to thank Ghanaians and Belpac that they should keep on producing such quality products. And like I said, affordable is very necessary so that everybody can have one at home.
Medical Superintendent of Pong Polyclinic, Dr. Jemima Kwete Mensah, is grateful.
Making sure that the work we do is done in a safe environment. There's something we call IPC, Infection Prevention and Control Measures. And one of the key things is IPC wash. You need to wash your hands and maintain hand hygiene. And what we use for that is washing your hands under running water, and after which you need to wipe your hands. So as you can see, these tissues are going a long way to support the facility. Every quarter as a facility we buy the tissues for our IPC to support our IPC. And so for a donation like this, you can imagine how it will, it's going to go a long way to improve and maintain our IPC practices. So
the day ended with donation to SOS Village at Tema. Social worker at SOS, Mavis Ajiman, says the items donated will help cut down on costs in caring for their children.
Receiving these items will go a very long way to support the children we have in our care. Just as you know, we run a lot of services to these children that we have in our care. And as part of it, we purchase these items to take care of the children to promote their hygienic condition in the location here. So having these items being donated to us will help us to save costs and also keep up with putting up a hygienic condition to take care of these children in our care. So we are very grateful for receiving these items. Much appreciated for it. SOS will never forget this contribution they have done today. And so we want to call on all corporate donors, all other stakeholders to also come on board and support the good work we are doing for Ghana by taking care of these vulnerable children we have in our care.
Nana Mark Brown is expected to help drive sales for the brand.
And finally, before we go, the Minister of Works and Housing, Francis Asensubwache, has charged the newly inaugurated governing board of the Ghana Hydrological Authority to develop comprehensive drainage master plan to mitigate the effects of flooding and the protection of the country's coastlines. According to him, the construction of the drainage master plan will help curb the perennial flooding in the country. He made this known at the inauguration of a 10-member governing board of the Ghana Hydrological Authority. Here is more.
In 2022, the Ghana Hydrological Bill was passed into law. This later saw the formation of the Ghana Hydrological Authority to cause change in the country's approach towards addressing perennial flooding and coastal erosion challenges. To this end, a 10-member governing board has been inaugurated to govern the operations of the Hydrological Authority. Speaking at the inauguration, Minister of Works and Housing, Francis Asensubwache, charged the members to work towards the provision of drainage infrastructure to nip the perennial flooding and its associated challenges in the bud.
This board is to assist the authority to develop a drainage master plan for the country. For a long time, this ministry has been working on establishing or having a drainage master plan. It's something that we need if you want to really work on protecting our public infrastructure. And as you know, we cannot do this without the involvement of the Ministry of Roads and Highways to explore and tap into different sources of funding to enhance flood resilience. This is public infrastructure we are talking about, and it costs a lot of money. So we need the board to assist, look at alternative ways of raising funds.
He also called on the members to collaborate with other stakeholders to mitigate the effects of flooding and the protection of the country's coastlines.
And that's it for Business Live for tonight. I am Pious Kojobaka. There is always business stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.